7 Kidpower strategies to keep your child safe. This video presents Kidpower strategy number 3. Listen to your children and teach them not to keep unsafe secrets. This strategy is particularly important for so many kids with disabilities because of the language difficulties that so many of these kids have. So it's incredibly important for us to understand this as it relates to our kids. Irene, thank you for being with us again today. And could you please tell us more about this third Kidpower strategy?
A core principle in Kidpower is that problems should not be secrets. And because children are safest if their adults know what's happening and that they're having difficulty so that they can help find solutions and get help. We add to that touch should not be a secret, presence should not be a secret, things that you're doing for somebody or with somebody and favors should not be a secret. And again, to underline it, problems should not be a secret. A lot of times people who mistreat children, whether it is sexual abuse or bullying or other types of maltreatment, tell them that not to talk about it with anyone and might emotionally coerce them into not talking about it with anyone. In a study that we did with elementary-aged children, then one of the questions was whether or not kids would get help and tell somebody if they really liked a person who was acting unsafely towards them. And before they had the training, most kids said that they would not tell, that they would protect the relationship. And after the training, most of the kids who had the training said that they would tell and get help because they had learned that problems should not be a secret. Sometimes kids, when they're, when we're saying listen to children, we have to, have teachers and parents laugh and say, but my kids, talk to me all the time. They ask me for things all the time. And one of the things that we teach kids is the difference about when you need to wait and when you should interrupt and keep asking. We use the example of if you're in line at the store, then you wait at the end of the line if you want to buy something. But if you have a safety problem, such as being lost or bothered in the store, then your plan is to go to the front of the line, interrupt the cashier, and keep asking until that person helps you. Another issue that comes up about telling is, especially as kids get older, they say, I don't want to be a tattletale or a snitch. And we tell them that tattling is, the difference between tattling is that you're trying to get somebody in trouble or use your power or get attention. When you're talking about what somebody else is doing for those reasons, that's tattling. If you have a safety problem with someone, then going and getting help from an adult is telling to get help. It's being a leader for respect and safety, whether you have the problem or see someone acting unsafely towards someone else. And having that distinction is really useful to kids because who wants that label of being a tattletale? I think adults need that distinction also because some of the sad cases we've heard about kids being bullied and not getting help from adults was that they were told, don't be a tattletale, solve it yourself. So we teach kids to persist in getting help rather than giving up. And we'll even teach children to say, I have a safety problem and you're the person, I'm supposed to be safe here at school. And you're the person my parents told to ask for help. And that can make a huge difference. We had one girl who was in middle school and she had hearing, she was hard of hearing. And she was being teased by other kids and left out by other kids. Her mother said it was a miracle after the training she had with us that she went to the assistant principal, who was the person who handled that kind of problem, and in a very respectful and very clear way, she said, we are having a safety problem. We are not getting along. And I'm getting left out and getting teased, and I feel bad. And the principal was so impressed that he told the mom, and they worked together to find solutions so that this behavior didn't continue. So we want something you can do with kids to help elicit information is simply to ask them every once in a while in a calm and centered way, maybe as you're doing something else, is there anything you've been wondering or worrying about that you haven't told me? Then you need to listen respectfully and compassionately to the answer without lecturing or telling the child what to do, but just saying thank you for telling me and listening. And then later on, you can figure out what action, if any, you need to take. Sometimes kids' concerns will seem trivial to adults. And so if you make fun of kids for what they tell you, then they're going to be less likely to come to you next time. Also, kids really worry about upsetting their adults. So if you act incredibly upset when they tell you something, they're also less likely to keep telling you. They might even change the story, even about something very serious. We also teach kids to tell the whole story. One girl told her mom that her Uncle Charlie was ugly. And her mom said, well, don't look at him. But it turned out that Uncle Charlie had been abusing her for about 2 years. So we want to give kids the language of how to ask for help and to explain that adults cannot read your mind. And on the adult side, we want to be safe people and respectful people for our kids to come to.
Thank you, Irene. And knowing that how many of our kids with disabilities have problems with communication and how frequently such communication problems are embedded in their IEPs, it seems so logical and so appropriate that those communication goals include their ability to be persistent, to be effective, to indicate when they have a communication problem. And that difference between telling on someone and tattletelling and is such an important but subtle differences that our kids need to understand. I would encourage all of our viewers to watch the remaining Kidpower safety strategy videos. Please note that the safety of our children depends on you.